like the fact that she has close ties with the SEIU and that she ran on universal child care and she was apparently a big promoter behind the scenes of the child tax credit. Like, these are all good signs, but I would like pen to paper, very please, to make sure that these signs are not just things that are being put out to the press to drum up kind of like a progressive enthusiasm for her candidacy, which is very much there. And I do think, like, just based on her record, it's hard to be more conservative than Joe Biden on almost anything. I mean, as a Democrat, like, he was considered conservative and racist in the time when Obama selected him. Yeah. We know that Obama embraced, like, austerity policies and did not have the best domestic economic agenda. He was right wing even then, and that's part of why he was selected. But he still did some things as president, as it relates to antitrust and labor, where if she carries that over and builds on it, we're in a much better situation. But she has to just commit to doing that.
Yeah, and then one of the areas I'd like to see her build also is criminal justice reform. And I know that people are probably rolling their eyes. I mean, this is a former prosecutor, former AG of California, doesn't have the greatest track record, but I actually think some of the things she did in California, like creating a database of when people are shot by cops that we still don't have on a federal level, her signifying, this week she calls the family members of Sonia Massey and says we need to implement the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which again is a very far cry one from what I would like. But it at least establishes that database. Like that, these are steps that Joe Biden has not taken in 4 years. So I think maybe her history as a prosecutor, absolute ding, but also familiarity with how things do not work in our justice system could be a benefit to her. So I want to see that.
Well, I'd also rather so Keir Starmer is a former human rights attorney, right? And in he's a corporate centrist that has hollowed out the left from Labour in the UK, but even they are signaling, like, we may stop arms to Israel.
I do have to say, it looks like there might be slow walking
that.
So, but,
Yeah, don't get too excited. You're scaring
it. But respecting the ICC, for example, like, I think that
it's a start,
Harris, maybe as a prosecutor, someone who's actually a lawyer, I mean, Biden may have a law degree. I don't know. He's been in politics for 4 million years. But I do feel like that could be
it's on papyrus.
A better approach.
Chipping wood.
Go ahead.
No, I just am wondering if he does have a law degree, like it's written on papyrus, because he's old. That was the joke.
Papyrus. I don't know if I even know. Is papyrus a wood? Is that a real thing?
It's an early form of paper.
It is?
Egypt, yeah. Yeah, the media scholars. I wonder on this point though. Branko Marcetic had a good piece in Jacobin, which Kamala Harris are we getting? And I think overall it's more of a condemnation than an exculpation. But I think he does a good job of saying the good things she did. And he writes, the first test of Harris's principles came in 2004 as she was elected as San Francisco's DA, while promising never to impose capital punishment. Less than 6 months into her tenure, Harris defied a united chorus of voices from the city's police chief and police rank and file to Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, that lovely person, calling for the death penalty for a 21-year-old who killed an undercover police officer. So, like,
yes,
she's done plenty, and that article gets into it, to upset people on the criminal justice reform tip. But also, she is not a Republican.
Yes, there's that. And I do think that the party's in a bit of a better place than I think she was probably caught off guard in 2020 when the George Floyd effect. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but when those protests happened, and her now general election pitch of being a prosecutor that goes after Donald Trump, she couldn't have picked a worse time to run for president during the 2020 primary.
Absolutely.
By using that particular tactic. It plays so much better in a general election than it would have or should have in a Democratic primary. So it was both not right for the primary and also not right for that particular primary.
But man, if there is a kryptonite that Trump has, it is black female prosecutors, right? Like Fani Willis, Letitia James, Tanya Chutkin, now Kamala Harris, and he's proving it. And honestly, this week has been the weird race science week. That if I ever go into politics, I've always been Chinese. I've always enjoyed black sesame buns. I've suckled on chicken's feet. I have been way too harsh on my own family. I've been Chinese, even though I am also Italian. And I've got a horribly Italian. I know.
One.
Every day I wake up and I'm like, maybe today I'll just be Greek. I'm not sure. But race is in the eye of the white supremacists. So if whatever Trump says, I am.
Right. Okay. That's a good way to relate to your identity, right? I do like the idea of the fact that this person who has a Jamaican father, who went to an HBCU, which there are non-white people that go there, non-black people that go there
Yes.
still, was a part of a historically black sorority, has decided, just for apparently political convenience yesterday, to identify as black. Wasn't it just like last week that they were complaining that Biden had decided to appoint a black woman as his vice president, and that was some sort of DEI hire? But now she's not even black. She's not even black, apparently.
She's not black.
She made it up.
I'm very excited for this line because Trump is doubling down on it. I hope they keep going with it because they're going to have to keep proving. And you have to be like, well, what is black enough to you? And they'll be like, sneakers. Like, they'll just have to say, like,
Right.
they not like us. You fell in, right? So they have to go back to, cause look, if she's the nominee, if she does happen to become president, I mean, the whole, like, we're going to restrain ourselves on her gender and her race, out the window. They're going real hard on it.
Donald Trump led the way. I mean, it was seemingly like Mike Johnson and even Kevin McCarthy, who came out, not that he has any power, but he's like speaking for the Republican establishment in that way, saying, no, I don't know if these tactics are very effective going after her race and gender. And Trump just like triples down. She's actually Indian. On a photo at his latest rally, he showed a photo, or I guess it was a screenshot of a Business Insider article that said she was the first Indian American senator, and it was like, see? No, it's because she would not be first black American. So,
Yeah.
you moron.
This is kind of like how the Obama stuff, where it's like, that conspiracy goes pretty deep, and you kind of got to hand it to them if they planted the birth announcement on the same day. It's like, this baby is going to be president, so let's make sure we make a birth announcement for him. And how
That's how sleeper cells work. I don't absolutely get that.
Exactly, but this is from when Harris became Attorney General 20 years ago, from the office of the California official government. Harris is the first woman and the first African American and the first South Asian American to hold the office of the Attorney General in the history of California. Now, for some reason, they don't see the need to dwell on, is that possible? What does that mean? Pick one.
Yeah.
Because that's not, a real concern.
Yes, because it can be all of those things. So, did you see this, Francesca, that one of the richest people on the planet, Elon Musk, posted a deepfake ad for Kamala Harris after it was announced that he was donating $45 million a month to the Trump campaign?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to, maybe not going to do it.
After seeing the poll numbers and also
Not having the money.
This is what happens when you buy. Like, he literally saw Trump try to get assassinated and thought the thumbs up thing and the fight thing was going to win the election.
Yeah, I was in the K-hole when I offered
But then-
$45 million. Sorry.
But then the identity of the shooter was just like wrong, so sucks.
Right.
Super
Like,
sucks.
oh, we can't. Like, also, he may have had a history of anti-Semitic posts and was a registered
Ooh.
Republican.
Ooh.
Yikes.
AR-15, we love that gun. Yeah.
So he's backtracked off that $45 million a month pledge, which even before Biden dropped out, even before the shooting, I was like, there's probably a good chance that he rescinds on this because he's a known liar.
If I'm one of his Saudi or big bank financiers, I'm kind of thinking hey, if you cut all that money to slosh around, maybe you
Want to
make
repay
some
us?
repayments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he clearly, after buying the biggest journalistic media communications platform, and making it so that like white supremacists come back on the platform again, he put out an ad that is just like a deep fake ad about Kamala Harris. He tweeted this out. It should be illegal, by the way.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility to me. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running a country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful man for Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant, and I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. I'm talking about the significance of the passage of time. Like the significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound wise. I pretend to celebrate quantum, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's tight. And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And just remember, we're voting this November.
We get it. We get this garbage. My favorite part is like, if you criticize me, you're racist and sexist. Okay, so what are the actual criticisms of her? Like, they'll just call you racist and sexist. That's what it says in the ad there. Then actually level of criticism. Because all they've been able to do is she's lying about being black, she's lying about her heritage, she's a DEI candidate. These are all racially connected smears or attacks on her. Then if you're saying, like, we can't say anything at all, we're just going to get criticized for being racist or sexist, then say the thing first and then we can judge from there. But they haven't landed on anything, because even the stuff that we have issues with like the tough on crime prosecutorial stuff, they agree with.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I am waiting for sort of like a Willie Horton moment where we get, I mean, they do a bad faith, we believe in real criminal justice reform angle. Like, they find someone who was locked up for truancy in California, they bring him out. If it had been before the RNC, maybe that could have happened. They could have wheeled that person out of the RNC, but not having that platform, I think, changes it. Still, I'm waiting for, like, the ad where Trump speaks to someone who, you know, was affected by Kamala Harris's, like, objectively bad policies and uses it to hit her from almost the left. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to get that, but I think that'd be my strategy. But also they could just keep saying DEI and have everybody turn against her. Because ultimately, and I think you guys have been right about this, people don't like racism. They don't like being bigoted and hateful. And it's just gross. Or even if they are, they don't want to be like, I'm the person voting for somebody who's clearly racist, right? Or the only reason I'm voting against her is because she's a black woman. That's a tough pill to swallow if you're a Republican. You need something else to go on. Maybe the border thing is good, but like, they don't have much to point to. The quote that we all hate, do not come, right? They would never use that because they love that. The idea that you would go to Central America and tell people not to go across the border.
Well, she's also, what is going to happen, and I'm just telling people now, she's already started running to the right/center on immigration, because that's perceived as her biggest polling weakness, as you described. But I'm telling you now, and if hopefully she learns this and she gets elected, she's just seemingly she kept over the Biden campaign staff. I think a lot of the strategies that Biden was using are being deployed here, but just running to the right on immigration without giving an alternative narrative is not going to go well for Democrats. It's going to hurt them. It actually just reinforces the issues and reinforces the bad framing that Republicans engage in. So,
pretty much
like
what I asked
Castro for beef. Anyone?
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They have to go with the whitest person on the planet, most likely. But, like, I really do feel like this this kind of conventional wisdom on this front is just really bad for the Democrats long term, because the longer that they embrace this false notion, I mean, the arrests at the border was the lowest I think in Biden's presidency last month.
Yeah, thanks to the terrible app that they rolled out.
But even then, it's just like, okay, she's gonna say, Trump and the Republicans killed the bipartisan border bill that was so draconian and right wing. She can use that on the campaign trail. I don't really have a problem with that, even though she is committing to trying to pass it if she gets elected. I disagree with that entirely, but I understand the practical realities here. You can talk about saying you want to get tough on the border because you want to get elected, fine. But then, at the very least, have a yes and, where you talk about pathways to citizenship, where you talk about improving process, where you talk about how, like, there are millions of people who want to come here legally, and that's actually healthy for the country. And here's the way that you can do that. But she didn't do any of that so far. So,
I think
I'm trying to get patient, because the platform will come out at the DNC, I think, most likely. But I have pessimism about this particular issue, even though I have optimism about others, that she'll update herself from Biden based on the polling.
The two areas we need her to break from Biden on are immigration and foreign policy. And when it comes to immigration, that foreign policy is so interlinked, And you see this week, again, the U.S. casting doubt on the Venezuelan elections. And I'm not saying everything was above board, but the main thing is you need to stop sanctioning this country. If you actually want to prevent immigration from Venezuela, which again is one of the biggest countries of migration into the U.S., stop the sanctions. They do not help anyone. And they only give further fodder for a Maduro administration to hate them and just blame you for all their problems. So, it's... I get worried when I think about, again this week, potential descent into World War III, and
got clean my conveyor belt
entire,
so I can ring up people faster.
From Biden to Kamala Harris. Should she reach Trump?
At the gas station simulator.
Entrenches more war and entrenches the
Simulating gas station.
So we have to keep pushing.
Absolutely. But it is interesting to see the richest man on the planet putting this out there. Like,
long line of,
The only place that'll hire me.
Discussion here, but holy crap, this should not be legal. Like, and this is the reason he purchased this file.
Alright.
Was to spread information and then pretend that it was about free speech.
And have a very public midlife crisis. So funny.
That was trans daughter.
Yeah, trans daughter.
Right.
Love Vivian. Oh my god. Big fan over here. Like, what?
Talk about that. The Grimes. There's a whole falling
Put that in your basket, sir. Sure you want to buy all that, sir? It was nice. You have a nice day as well. Hello, ma'am. What can I do for you? Or do you for it?
I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine.
Chips? Sure you want to buy them? You do? You have a nice day as well.
Yeah.
Yes, how can I help you?
Why they are dead.
That's what you got going on here.
Because the woke mind virus. Nom.
We got here some
Of course.
cookies.
We forgot
Those
about
look
that.
delicious.
Yeah, it's a terrible
Bad dad. That's what they should run on. Elon, Trump,
Divorced dad.
That's what
JD
that's
Vance.
why they RNC, look at all these people that are related to each other.
Yeah, JD Vance,
Oh, something wrong with the conveyor belt.
when's he gonna get divorced? Like 3 years from now?
I think Usha's self-hatred knows no bottom. I think we might be dealing with another Melania here. They're
Or Brett Kavanaugh and John Roberts.
there you
After
go.
Worse than
being a
before.
registered Democrat who killed the
You
years
had a
got married in
camera.
2014, and then she started working for them. Like, it almost, I know that sounds like
Is it,
Pollyannish or naive, but I still can't believe that there are people who are educated in that manner, but whose beliefs are so easily turned on a dime when they see dollars signs in front of them.
I would look. If I were Harris, I definitely would speak. I would defend Usha, even though she
Okay.
doesn't deserve defense.
Let's move
But I
that.
just think it would be really funny, one South Asian woman in the public eye to another, being like, "Girl, blink twice,
So
you
much
know,
going on.
or something.
That's it.
Like we have a program for you to get out of here.
I'm stressed out. Okay, here we
But
go.
yeah, we won't do that.
Sorry about that, police officer.
Francesca, where people find your work, the situation room. Hey, Amanda, all that.
So much for having me. Franny Theo on all the things. YouTube.com/Franny Theo is a situation room. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be live in Chicago for the DNC. It's going to be wild. The Situation Room will be live with Bad Heads Mara, Matt Leak's podcast. That's Monday, August 17th. And John Iadarola will be a guest on that from the Daily Report. And then a lot of other, yeah. I mean, look,
I mean, truly, like, when you think of toxic white male,
What?
it's hard to think of anybody more of a toxic presence.
absolutely. It's that board game vibe. Just so
Why does he have so many? He's got so many board games.
Manny spreading all over his mouth. Yeah.
It's the equivalent, right?
You're
Yeah, so, like,
kidding.
collecting ladies' candy. That's how
Oh,
problematic
man, I'm
it
not
is.
cool with this.
Okay, I feel like I need to stand here for John.
What's talking?
More
What's
people,
happening?
more people.
Oh,
John is like the antidote to all toxic masculinity.
That's exactly
I
right.
ordered
He's the least
gas.
toxic male. That's why it's funny.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Do you play board games?
Sorry.
Matt,
I'm sorry about this, man. I know you're pissed.
No, but he's defending.
Man, I'm sorry.
I feel bad. Just like to collect
Sir.
panties.
Apologies.
No, he's not the
Ma'am,
IEF. He doesn't
please.
feel like women's fannies. Like,
But
I'll
I
apologize.
want, but part
Oh,
of me,
look at
I
this
want
mess,
to see
please.
this, and then I
Oh
want to
my
protect
goodness.
you, so I'm just gonna catch up.
we're all gonna catch up, and you guys are gonna be there, right?
No, we're not gonna be no. Who's gonna run the show? We have a lot of people that work here.
This is stressful.
We can get set up in a little Airbnb or something with bad Wi-Fi.
So stressed.
Like, gotta be honest, we barely have the money to freaking fix the air conditioner.
I'm sweating.
I'm swearing this place is a mess.
Oh God, that's why Sam took off. He was like, "Nope, can't do another day." Yes, yeah, everyone come out. There should be a link in the description. And thank you guys so much. Love you, miss you. Happy that Joe Biden is no
Clean up a
longer
little bit.
a hostage.
Yes.
He
Okay.
was being held hostage by everyone in this administration. Right? Yeah, kind of ironic that we only hostage
Okay, let's hear
Biden
it.
to be able to free in 10 months with himself. But anyway, take good care, guys.
Appreciate you.
See now, what's going on?
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls.
What's up,
You
lady?
should check that out.
Lady, what is it? Is it the? Maybe I did something with the controls here. Let me see. Controller status on.
Natalie Reynolds is getting called out after live streaming a social media prank gone wrong.
She did something particularly
I don't know, I think I have
Mini game. No, that's right.
One of these days, we're gonna run out of terrible streamers to talk about, but today is not that day. I'll be the first to admit these lunatics have been pretty impossible to ignore lately, mostly because they themselves
maybe it's 'cause
continue
it's
to
not
risk
set
jail
up.
time by, let's go down the list, shooting fireworks at the homeless, driving recklessly on street, and of course, nearly luring a random woman to her death, which we'll definitely discuss later on in this video. But first, I want you to digest all the information I just fed you for a second and tell
Interact with
which
the
streaming
elements.
platform you
That's what I'm
use.
doing. You used to move.
Was it A,
Now you're acting like you
YouTube,
don't know what to
B,
do.
Twitch, or C, the highly unregulated Twitch alternative that is entirely funded by offshore crypto gambling monkeys? You've got 5 seconds. Go. Time's up, you already know the answer. I probably don't need to tell you at this point that Kick.com has a reputation within the larger streaming landscape that has remained firmly and squarely in the toilet, bogged down by scandal after scandal. The site has struggled to reach any real mainstream legitimacy over the first year and a half of its existence. They'll make some gains by signing a few biggest creators to even bigger contracts, only to catch another L when those contracts end and the creators decide to leave them in the dust. crashing the platform in front of millions on their way out.
Worst time I've ever had is really getting. But I learned so much behind the scenes. It killed my motivation for it because there was no exit. You would say this is for your lane, or just go outside and argue with a good for your lane.
It's always one step forward, a million steps back. Especially now, with their own staff coming out and pretty serious allegations regarding the way they conduct business. One former Tink employee by the name of Melissa uploaded a 20-minute expose on the company, citing an extremely unprofessional and even hostile work environment. And one especially concerning point in the video, Melissa talks about a Twitch streamer they tried to sign for a lower rate.
Are we still piled up over here?
In the words of this unnamed staffer, according to her, no one in the room even objected to this insane suggestion. If you skim the comments on any video discussing this story, you'll see that not one person appeared shocked at any of these accusations. That's because this kind of behavior from this
Come on, lady.
by now, and the
You gotta get out the way.
The side are really helping their work. And perceived it negatively for a reason. In part, thanks to the unfortunate specimen we'll be documenting today. A former OnlyFans model, a current IRL streamer, and a future convict by the name of Natalie But first, I want to go ahead and sponsor Bespoke Post. There's a reason why Bespoke Post is one of my absolute favorite brands of all time to work with. They've got something for everyone, whether you're a
some more lighting.
a home chef,
It's kind of
style
dark.
enthusiast.
Okay,
I happen to
Alyssa.
be none of those things, but that's okay because they offer such
Alright.
a massive selection of products.
Yeah, I'll order
90%
some
of
more
which
lighting.
comes from small businesses located right here in the good old US of A, delivering curated boxes of top-notch goods right to your front door. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club completely free to join that offers incredible membership discounts across a range of products. I'm talking 30% off or more sometimes. It only takes a few minutes to fill out their quick online quiz to personalize your subscription and allow Bespoke Post to handpick the perfect box curated for your taste each month. And the best part is that you only pay for what you want, meaning you'll get to preview everything that comes inside your box before it ships, giving you the option to
End
keep
it
it, swap
here.
it for a different box, or skip that month entirely.
Since now
No
I know
charge
what I need.
whatsoever. But I don't know why you'd want to do
Thank you
that.
to
This month, I
Alyssa.
had to try their concentrate box to assist with my morning routine at 3 p.m. when I finally get tired of rotting in my bed, complete with a cold brew iced coffee maker and a concrete desk set. I also received their weekender box, which I've actually ordered in the past, but ended up giving it back to my uncle as a last minute